choosing your engineering branch. Man, it feels like this huge life-defining decision, right? The pressure is really on, and all the options can feel kind of overwhelming. But what if I told you it doesn't have to be a shot in the dark? What if you had a clear, logical framework to guide you? Well, that's exactly what we're going to build together, right here, step by step. So, before we even start talking about specific branches, we have to ask the most important question of all. What's the end goal for you? What do you actually want to do after you graduate? Are you thinking about landing a great job, launching your own startup, or maybe heading to grad school? Your answer to that question is the real starting point for this whole decision. Here's the game plan for today. First, we'll look at the three main paths you can take after graduation. Then, we'll dive into the job market using some hard data. After that, we'll connect specific branches to career paths, walk through a personal SWOT analysis, and finally, we'll bring it all together so you can make a choice you feel great about. All right, let's jump into section 1, 3 paths, 1 future. Seriously, this is the foundation for everything else. Figuring out your post-graduation goal is what sets the direction for all the other choices we're about to make. When you really boil it down, you've got 3 main options: get a job, start your own company, or go for higher studies like a master's or a PhD. Now, each of these paths can point you toward different engineering branches. But since getting a job is the most common goal for most students, let's start there and really analyze what the current job market looks like. So if getting a great job is your goal, just being passionate about a subject isn't quite enough. You really need a strategy. And that strategy begins with looking at the data to see where the real growth and the real opportunities are hiding. And you know what? The data tells a really clear story. I mean, just think about it for a second. From the apps on your phone to how business is run, software is literally everywhere. Every single industry is going through a digital transformation. And that's why software is just exploding with growth, far outpacing every other engineering field. Just look at these numbers. It's kind of staggering. The software industry is projected to grow by a massive 22% by 2030. Compare that to semiconductors at 15% and infrastructure way down at 8%. The numbers really don't lie. They're pointing us directly to where the demand is going to be. And hey, it's not just about the number of jobs. All that massive demand for software engineers, it also drives up wages. This means the software industry typically pays the highest salaries for new graduates, more than any other engineering sector. Okay, so we've seen where the growth is. The next logical step, right, is to connect that market data back to the actual engineering branches you might be choosing between. So here's how it all breaks down. If you want to get into that high-growth software industry, you're looking at branches like computer science, obviously, but also electronics and communication and even electrical engineering. For semiconductors, it's mainly ECE and EE, but notice that important detail. There are fewer jobs available right out of college with just a bachelor's. And then you have the more traditional branches, like mechanical or civil, which lead to auto and infrastructure jobs, but often come with lower starting salaries. Up until now, we've been looking at all the external stuff, the market, jobs, salaries, but that's only half of the puzzle. Now we need to turn the focus inward. Because this decision isn't just about what the world needs, it's also about who you are and what makes you tick. And the best tool for that is something called a SWOT analysis. It's a really simple but super powerful way to get an honest look at your personal strengths and weaknesses. Those are the things inside you, and the external opportunities and threats that you might be facing. This helps you make a choice that actually fits you. To make this feel a little more real, let's walk through an example. Meet Hari. He's an aspiring student who loves solving problems, and he's thinking about a career in computer science. Let's see what happened when he did his own personal SWOT analysis. So first up, his strengths. Hari realized he's naturally curious, super detail-oriented, and he genuinely loves the challenge of math and puzzles. These aren't just personality traits, they're the exact internal qualities that are so valuable in a tough technical field like computer science. But, a real analysis means being honest about the weaknesses too. He admitted that he gets pretty anxious under pressure, especially with tight deadlines, and he doesn't always have the confidence to ask his teachers for help. But here's the key. Realizing this doesn't mean he can't succeed. It just gives him a clear roadmap of the skills he needs to work on alongside his coding. Next, he looked at his opportunities. He lives in a city with a bunch of tech companies. He has a teacher who's really supportive, and he knows he can find online communities for help. These aren't just random facts about his life. There are actual resources out there that he can actively use to his advantage. And finally, the threats. He had to be realistic. Getting into a top engineering school is incredibly competitive, and those entrance exams are no joke. These are the real world hurdles that he knows he's going to have to prepare for and overcome. And here it is, the big takeaway. The SWOT analysis wasn't just a list, it gave him an action plan. He saw that his strengths were a perfect fit, but he also saw how his weakness, that anxiety, was directly related to the threat of a super competitive environment. He realized he needed to work on his confidence just as much as his calculus. All right, we've looked at the big picture outside, and we've done some reflection inside. In this final section, we're going to put all of these pieces together into one clear, easy-to-use framework for making your final choice. And here it is, 4 simple steps. First, define your goal, job, startup, or more school. Second, look at the market data to see where the real opportunities are. Third, map the engineering branches to those industries. And fourth, do your own honest SWOT analysis to make sure that the path you choose actually aligns with who you are. So there you have it. You have the tools and a step-by-step process. This isn't about guessing or just hoping for the best anymore. It's about making a smart, strategic decision you can feel confident about. So the only real question left is, now that you have the framework, what does your future look like?